A crime scene unlike any other for Irondequoit Police Chief Scott Peters.
This was a horrific scene. In almost 32 years of doing this job, I've never seen anything like it.
Shock and horror from the Irondequoit community, a family of 4 victims of a homicide in their own home.
This is Labor Day. It's supposed to be a joyous day, spending time off with your family. This family doesn't have that anymore. This family is forever going to be, half their family's gone in an instant.
Irondequoit police providing an update on the investigation and naming the 4 family members killed. 30-year-old Fraime Ubaldo, 26-year-old Marangely Moreno-Santiago, 4-year-old Evangeline Ubaldo Moreno, and 2-year-old Sebastian Ubaldo Moreno killed early Saturday morning. Chief Peters saying these actions are inexplicable.
Adults do what adults do, but kids are innocent. So take that for what it's worth. Mom was being a mom, protecting her children. Dad, I can't say, but nobody should ever be able to do this or be able to think that they could do that to a child.
The chief saying that his department is dealing with a lot at the moment between the investigation and trying to keep a community together, and says those responsible will be caught.
We wanted to make sure that we went floor to floor and didn't miss any piece of information that needed to be collected to ultimately bring these monsters to justice.
I am surprised because this is a family neighborhood. I mean, you see children getting on the bus, you see people walking their pets. So I'm surprised, and it's a little scary, and it's not something you would expect here.
Investigators spending the past several days sifting through evidence and going door to door asking neighbors for any information. Loved ones are now remembering the victims. Carly Miner reports.
A makeshift memorial of flowers, candles, and teddy bears continues to grow outside of the Knapp Avenue home.
I'm just going to be missed. So I'm just thinking about him today.
Tim Lucy has known one of the victims for several years.
Fraime came to my house back in 2016 when I was thinking about going to work for the company he was working for. I couldn't ask for a better kid. I loved him.
Autopsies will determine how each of the 4 died. Meeting with reporters on Monday, Irondequoit Town Supervisor Andre Evans shared his thoughts on the quadruple homicide.
We were heartbroken. Our hearts go out to the families, go out to their friends, go out to the neighbors for suffering through this horrific event. And we will not stop until justice is served.
Just always smiling. Never knew him not to come into work or my house or whatever gathering we went to. He was always smiling, always friendly. He was like my son. I'm gonna miss him.
I am here at the vigil on Knapp Avenue, and as you can see behind me, friends, family members, and neighbors coming together to honor the victims of the tragedy. Police say 26-year-old Marangely Moreno-Santiago, 30-year-old Fraime Ubaldo, and their 2 children, 4-year-old Evangeline Ubaldo Moreno and 2-year-old Sebastian Ubaldo Moreno, were found dead inside their home on Knapp Avenue Saturday and are the victims of a homicide. A memorial with flowers, teddy bears, and photos has been growing outside the Knapp Avenue home, and one neighbor tells me the tragedy has touched the community, and he and his family placed teddy bears outside the home to pay their respects.
The tragedy that took place, and then looking at the 2 little kids, seeing the pictures of them, we had to come over here and just pay the respect to them. The family, it's terrible, and it's kind of like unbelievable, especially right almost around the corner from where you live, just don't understand it.
A man is now charged with murdering a family of 4 in Irondequoit.
A major break in this horrific case, and police believe others are involved.
The heartbreaking discovery of 2 children and their parents, all found murdered in their burning home on Knapp Avenue, a case that left loved ones, the police, and the community in shock.
Now, less than 2 weeks later, an arrest. The suspect also allegedly wanted for murder in the Dominican Republic and using a fake ID to make his way into the United States.
And the investigation is far from over. Police searching for other people wanted in this case.
The suspect was taken into custody on September 7th and is facing murder charges, accused of killing the family of 4 in their Irondequoit home. Police now trying to locate additional individuals wanted in connection to this horrific crime. 34-year-old Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano of the Dominican Republic is charged with second-degree murder in the deaths of 30-year-old Fraime Ubaldo, 26-year-old Marangely Moreno-Santiago, and their children, 4-year-old Evangeline and 2-year-old Sebastian. A crime that shocked the community.
It seems like this family was very well liked and very active in their community. So obviously my condolences go out to their family, friends, and their neighbors who had to suffer through this.
According to the felony complaint, Soriano is accused of using a sharp object to fatally stab each victim in the neck and chest multiple times. Their bodies discovered during a fire at their Knapp Avenue home on August 31st.
Obviously, the allegations are troubling. They're difficult to deal with. They're difficult to see.
Police now trying to locate other individuals in connection to the deaths.
We do believe that there is at least one other actor that Irondequoit police is currently looking for. At this point, I can tell you that it does appear that he does have ties to this community in addition to ties to countries abroad.
Investigators say the suspect, who also went by the name Rafael Jose Vargas, is originally from the Dominican Republic and is allegedly wanted in that country for a 2019 murder. The DA's office could not confirm those details. Police say it appears Soriano entered Puerto Rico to obtain fraudulent New York State ID, which allowed him to travel to the United States.
At this point, I can't tell you if he's here legally, illegally, or how long he's been here.
Knapp Avenue is known to be a family neighborhood, but neighbors tell me what happened on August 31st impacted how some feel about that.
Just having a hard time, believing that this great kid that I knew and loved, for that matter, him and his family being killed this way it's unacceptable.
Tim Lucy has been a friend of Fraime Ubaldo for nearly 8 years. Ubaldo worked for Lucy. Residents up and down Knapp Avenue declined to talk with us, saying they were afraid after hearing how the family died.
It became reality because they had a nice large body poster picture of Fry at the front with his little kids. So I think that's when it really hit me that it was real.
Hearing the name of the person accused of murdering his friend and his family was unsettling.
Actually, my boss sent it to me this morning, and I opened it up, and I got chills.
The suspect's name, one that's unfamiliar to Lucy.
Relieved, but yet kind of scary, on who this person was and how he got here. Just a scary thought.
Lucy recalls the memories the pair has made together since first becoming friends.
He was kind of my go-to kid. I watched him grow and develop. He's been at my house numerous times. My wife loved him. The kids knew him. It's a tough loss for everybody.
The memorial outside the Irondequoit home continues to grow. Neighbors saying they will forever remember the family that lived on Knapp Avenue. Zyamara Weeks received a phone call on the morning of August 31st that forever changed her life.
We used to text each other all day, every day. So not getting a text message from her has been very hard. Still expecting to receive a text message from her.
Just before 5:30 that Saturday morning, Weeks found out her best friend and her family were murdered inside their Knapp Avenue home. Police say Marangely Moreno-Santiago, her boyfriend Fraime Ubaldo, and their 2 children, Evangeline and Sebastian, were stabbed to death in their basement.
This is by far the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in life.
Best friend to Marangely and godmother to Evangeline and Sebastian, Weeks traveled to Puerto Rico with the family to bury the mother and children.
I can't refer to her as someone that's in the past because she will forever be my best friend. She will always be my sister. She will always be my kid's godmother.
Over the last 7 years, the 2 families grew close. Ubaldo also serving as godfather for Weeks' 2 daughters.
Marangely she was always a very caring person. They're my family. She's my sister. She will always be my sister. They will always be my godson and my goddaughter forever.
New information in the horrific murders of an Irondequoit family.
A second suspect sought in the case is now on the U.S. Marshal's list of 10 most wanted fugitives in Puerto Rico. 31-year-old Luis Francisco Soriano is wanted on 4 charges of second-degree murder. Authorities believe he fled to Puerto Rico. Investigators say he conspired with his brother, Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, to torture and kill Fraime Ubaldo Marangely Moreno-Santiago and their 2 young children. The victims were found in their burning home on Knapp Avenue over Labor Day weekend. Pimentel-Soriano was arrested earlier this month.
Luis Moreno says he hasn't been able to sleep since the phone call he received the morning of August 31st.
Well, that was the worst day of my life.
Now, investigators say they are searching for Luis Francisco Soriano, who goes by Jeffrey.
There's 2 families that have been destroyed. It's not only mine.
Police believe their wanted suspect is in Puerto Rico and was involved in the gruesome murders of the father, mother, and their 2 young children over Labor Day weekend.
Happy birthday to you.
Home video provided to 13 WHAM News shows Soriano attending a family birthday party in 2023, with a family of 4 killed on Knapp Avenue, also in attendance.
That's sick. It's sick because I met that guy. I met that Jeffrey guy 2 years ago when I went my first summer to spend over there. My daughter watched her babysit his baby. That guy always was there at Fraime's house, and he was like Fraime's brother.
Soriano's 34-year-old brother, Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, has been in Monroe County Jail since the first week of September. He's accused of fatally stabbing Fraime Ubaldo, Marangely Moreno-Santiago, and their 2 young children, 4-year-old Evangeline and 2-year-old Sebastian.
As a dad and grandparent, our duty is to protect our kid. And I'm always thinking that night or that morning, I wasn't there to protect my daughter and protect my grandbabies. And that's a pain and that got inside me that it's never going to go away.
Irondequoit Police Chief Scott Peters says the 2 suspects are brothers, who the family confirms are cousins with Fraime.
He destroyed my life. He took part of my life. And to have to say bye to them, I don't wish that to anybody.
Xiomara Weeks recalls the first time she met Luis Francisco Soriano, who Weeks knew as Jeffrey.
He was so close to them that you would never think that anything like this would actually happen. Fraime and Marangely and the kids would be outside under a deck, and they would be cooking out, and he'll come over and spend time with them. So it's shocking. It's shocking. It actually did come across my mind that he was not there for the memorial for anything. So that was a huge red flag. They were very close. So when all this happened, to see that he was not around was concerning. It was alerting.
Irondequoit police believe Jeffrey accompanied his brother, Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, to torture and kill the victims in the basement of their Knapp Avenue home. Investigators describe both brothers as career criminals.
I'm still thinking that, this is like a nightmare. Like a nightmare I haven't woken up from.
31-year-old Luis Francisco Soriano and his brother, 34-year-old Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, were indicted on multiple felony charges that include first-degree murder, burglary, kidnapping, and arson. Pimentel-Soriano was arrested last month. Irondequoit police say an arrest warrant has been issued for Luis Francisco Soriano as authorities continue to search for him. He is currently on the U.S. Marshals Service's 10 most wanted fugitives list in Puerto Rico.
The courtroom was silent as one of the 2 brothers accused of murder stood in the courtroom for the first time, facing charges after allegedly killing their cousin and his family in Irondequoit.
It is certainly a terrible thing that happened, regardless of how the court case shakes out. There's 4 individuals from our community, including a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, who are no longer with us.
The U.S. Marshal's Office says 31-year-old Luis Francisco Soriano is actively being searched for in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Meantime, his 34-year-old brother and alleged partner in crime, Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, has been in the Monroe County Jail for more than a month. Irondequoit Police Chief Scott Peters told us Julio has been in several altercations with fellow inmates. Soriano appeared to have a swollen right eye in court on Thursday as a not guilty plea was entered. Both brothers are charged with 4 counts of first and second degree murder and 2 counts of burglary, kidnapping, and arson, according to prosecutors.
Whenever you have a loss of life, it's horrible, both for the community and especially for the people who are close to the victims. Anytime you have crimes alleged against a child, they are horrific.
In court, Assistant District Attorney Perry Duckles requested a DNA swab to compare to other evidence that he says has developed in this investigation. As other people's cases were called, the 2 front rows to the right of the courtroom remained filled. As Monroe County Judge Charles Sciano called out the defendant's name, Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, family and friends of the murdered Irondequoit family sat patiently.
I filed an application for an order to show cause asking this court to grant us the opportunity to directly take a buccal swab from defendant for comparison to other evidence developed during this investigation. I've laid out my reasons in the affirmation and included the lab report for the court's review.
Soriano, dressed in street clothes and uncuffed, sat between his new defense attorney, Joseph D'Amelio, and an interpreter.
Sheriff, understand the interpreter okay, sir? Say yes. Very good.
In Monday's appearance, Assistant District Attorney Perry Duckles requested the court to grant a DNA swab for evidence, which Judge Sciano approved.
Based on my review of the affidavit set forth in the show cause of Mr. Duckles, which I reviewed, I will grant the request for a sample of DNA from Mr. Soriano.
Next, investigator Thomas Cassidy from the District Attorney's Office performed a DNA swab from Soriano's cheek in a separate room Monday morning. Julio will be back in court December 23rd, according to D'Amelio.
We'll go over them, then make a determination what legal arguments we want to make to the court. And this is, of course, all pretrial. We'll put those down on paper. The district attorney will respond, and then we'll have argument and motions.
We begin with major breaking news tonight. A second suspect is now under arrest in the gruesome deaths of an Irondequoit family. Good evening, I'm Matt Malloy. It's been 9 months since a couple and their 2 young children were tortured and killed at their home on Labor Day weekend. The suspects, cousins of the victims. Now, as 13 Wham's Karen Edwards reports, after months of searching, the second suspect is behind bars tonight.
Captured. U.S. Marshals releasing this mugshot Wednesday night of 31-year-old Luis Francisco Soriano, also known as Jeffrey Yevo, arrested in the Dominican Republic. He and his brother, 34-year-old Julio Cesar Pimentel-Soriano, are accused of torturing and fatally stabbing their cousin, Fraime Ubaldo, his girlfriend, Marangely Moreno-Santiago, and their 2 children, ages 2 and 4, in their home on Knapp Avenue, August 31st. Both men are also accused of trying to cover up the crime by burning the home. He became aware that federal marshals were on the island and fled by boat to the Dominican Republic. That's where investigators say he worked at a hotel call center in Punta Cana. He was taken into custody without incident after he finished his shift Wednesday morning. His brother, Pimentel-Soriano, was arrested locally in September and pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. Irondequoit police say he's also wanted for a 2019 murder in the Dominican Republic. He is being held in the Monroe County Jail without bail. Now, as loved ones of the family and the community continue to grieve their horrific deaths, the U.S. Marshals releasing a statement saying our community should feel reassured knowing this fugitive has been captured and will face justice.
A drug arrest in Florida with ties to our area, including the Irondequoit home where a family of 4 was found murdered.
An affidavit obtained by 13 WHAM News tonight details how at least 2 men allegedly sent cocaine from Puerto Rico to addresses in the U.S., including the Rochester area. Good evening. I'm Matt Malloy.
I'm Karen Edwards. One of those addresses, the same as the home in Irondequoit, where a family of 4 were found brutally murdered. Now, authorities have made 2 other arrests that appear to have a connection to the family's Irondequoit home. A federal affidavit charges Rafael Gilbert Guerrero with conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute and to distribute 5 kilos or more of cocaine. He was arrested in Florida last week. The paperwork outlines a federal investigation into packages sent from Puerto Rico to 2 addresses in Irondequoit, one in Rochester, 2 in Massachusetts, and 1 in Pennsylvania, between July and November of last year. One of the addresses matches the Irondequoit home where the family was found dead, 329 Knapp Avenue. The affidavit says August 3rd, authorities in Puerto Rico seized a package addressed to 329 Knapp Avenue containing 3 bricks of cocaine and a GPS tracking device. The name on the package did not match any of the 4 homicide victims. Paperwork then states the following week, August 12th, a package containing cocaine was delivered to the home next door, 325 Knapp Avenue. Nearly 3 weeks later is when the family of 4 was found dead. It's unclear if this drug case is at all connected to the quadruple homicide investigation. Authorities believe Gilbert Guerrero provided the address to another man, Jose Santos Paniagua. Investigators say Santos Paniagua's fingerprints were found on several of the packages. He was arrested in Puerto Rico in February.